There was a time when I was out of work, and there was a time when my wife was actually earning about 3 times what I was earning. So she had to carry more. You know, what I always did was I always was constantly saying, I appreciate you, thank you. I realized that you are bearing more than you should. Yeah. So it's very important that she's still your friend. You don't take her for granted, and she doesn't take you for granted. You still put her above everything else.
For the times when I've been out of work or I've got a financial problem, I almost feel like my role as a leader in the house is often being
undermined,
questioned. Good afternoon, Pastor.
How are you? Good to be with you, brother. Good to be with you.
Good to be with you. I'm laughing because this has been a lifelong dream to sit with you for a couple of minutes and get to chat with you about life generally.
Well, I think the honor is mine and the privilege is mine too.
Okay. Like when I'm having conversations, I always like putting myself in a process kind of way, like I'm on a journey. It's easier for me to grasp the things I want to learn. So I picture myself in this scenario as someone who's bringing their car for MOT check or something like that. And the car in this instance is my marriage. So I don't know if you know, but I'm just giving you a heads up. This May 10th will be 18 years I've been married.
Oh, that's beautiful. Well
whoop,
done.
whoop.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Pastor. And I remember a couple of months ago, you said something to me that piqued my interest about the milestone ages or years in marriage that we should pay particular attention to. And that's the very first thing that has come to my mind right now is, you know, I've been married 18 years. I can look back at some of the things I didn't do well at, but now I have, you know, the future to plan for. What are those things you think I should be conscious of so that I can have a healthy marriage?
Okay, well, the important thing is that the foundation of your marriage is not going to change. Okay? We change, we grow, we regress sometimes, as we shouldn't, but certain things remain the same. Anything that pertains to God is constant. So when we put Him at the center of the relationship, that must be the constant. So we love the Lord our God with all our hearts and all we put Him at the center of our relationship, and He's God and He's Lord and He's rock. That must not change. Okay? Then the next thing that must not change is the love we have for one another. The relationship started in love, and it will be sustained in love, and it must end in love. It's like the song Amazing Grace. It was grace that led me safe thus far, and grace will lead me home. It's love that has led you thus far, and love is sustaining you, and love will lead you all the way home. So that's it. Then watch out for this familiarity bug that can come in as the years mount up, where you become complacent, you become, it's, you know, I've done this, I know how to do it, or I'm doing it, or I've done it and I haven't really got any results, so why bother, you know? So whatever it is, watch out for it. Make sure that you're still doing all the things that you used to do. It's interesting, a lot of people don't realize this, but it says that man will leave his father and his mother and will cleave to his wife. Now, the word that is cleaved is it also means to catch by pursuit.
Wow.
To catch by pursuit. So now you remember that to get your wife, you caught her by pursuit. You wooed her. Okay? But we think that once we've caught her, then we stop catching by pursuit.
The wooing stops.
The wooing stops. No, but that's actually when the greatest wooing begins.
Wow.
That's when the work begins. If you look at the Bible says after many, many years of marriage, a king looked out of his window and he saw Isaac with Rebekah. And the word he used, he said they were sporting. Now, in Yoruba, that is one shoge, there was something they were doing after many years of marriage, I mean, well over 20, there was something that they were doing that caught the king's attention. And the word that was used is sporting. So he was chasing her, he was messing around, he was tickling her, he was doing something. So he didn't stop catching by pursuit. And that's why you look at their marriage, it worked. And it withstood the vicissitudes of time and all that, and 20 years of barrenness and all that, and economic downturn. We think that economic downturns are peculiar to our generation. The Bible says there was a famine in the land, and Isaac sowed in that land, and so they went through economic. They went through the jackpot. They moved from place to place like we do. There was economic migration and political migration, whatever, for migrating or emigrating for whatever reason, and yet they stayed together because they were true to the original principles. They did not lose sight. So it's very important that she's still your friend. She continues to be your friend. That you don't take her for granted, and she doesn't take you for granted, and that you are you still put her above everything else. And you find that when children come into the equation, they tend to want to take away our attention. They tend to want to divert our attention or to suck most of. Now we have to give them their due care and love and everything, but put it in perspective, because they're going to grow up and they're going to leave home. You know how your daughter looks at you and you're like the best man, the best thing in the world, and you are her hero and everything. Enjoy it, milk it now, because when she turns a teenager and finds she's going to find another, and then one day she's going to marry another hero, and she's going to move out of the house and move to hero's house. And then, if you had not built this relationship, that again is another of those milestones I talked about, then that's when divorce takes it. You find that another time when divorce rates spiral is around that 20-something year, when the children have left home, and probably they were the only glue that were the final glue that were holding the marriage together. But you want your friendship, you want your. So my wife and I were very intentional about being friends, about doing stuff together. Even when sometimes we irritate each other, we're like, we're doing it together. And then after a while, the irritation melts off and the love,
that's really amazing. That's really amazing. Thank you so much, Pastor. I think one of the things I've gotten from that is, yes, we've been graced with age in marriage, that we've been together for years, but like you said, the foundation being God and Christ doesn't change, and those building blocks of love, not taking, not being complacent, respect and all the kindness and all those things. And all those things. It doesn't matter whether you're young in marriage or you're old in marriage. It's still the same thing. It's still the same thing. It's still the same thing. Still the same thing. One of the things you talked about, I really, really liked again, is the economic downturn, and I've never thought about. We live in times now when things husband husband could suddenly find himself out of contract or contract, or their business is a bit shaky and things like that. But one of the things that really struck me that you said was actually it's that love, it's that friendship, is some of those things that actually help the marriage
overcome those things, because those things are temporal, but the love is permanent. The respect is permanent. The friendship is permanent. So, and those are the things that will actually help you overcome, to get over, because you find that the people who struggle is because they don't have those building blocks. Those things are missing. The Bible says, if the foundation is destroyed, what shall the righteous do? So it's those foundational things which, once we drift from it, the foundation is now destroyed, the marriage collapses when the storm. And I was reading Matthew, where he talks about the man that the two people that built their houses. One built his house on the sand, and one version says, the wind and the storms rushed against the house. Wow, that was so powerful. But the point is that whether you build your house well or you don't build it, the winds, the storms, and the vicissitudes will rush. It's not just come; they will rush against your house. They will. The Bible says they will batter. They will beat against it. They would. The goal is to try and sweep away the house. That's what those storms come for. They want to sweep away your house. And so it's the foundation. It's the right things, doing those right things, and continuing to do them that will ensure that you weather the storm.
Wow, that's amazing. I think one of the things again that I really liked is oftentimes when, at least for the times when I've been out of work or I've got a financial problem, I almost feel like the leadership of my role as a leader in the house is often being
undermined,
questioned, not necessarily by
your wife,
but by the situation. My situation has stripped me. I suddenly feel vulnerable. I was wondering, how do we, especially in these times that we're in, how do men navigate leadership in their homes, especially as roles may change?
That's a good question. That's a really phenomenal question. But the thing is this. I think if you understand how your marriage is meant to work, your wife is there to be your helpmeet, not mate. We always call it helpmate. It could be that, but it's helpmeet. Your help suitable, comparable, and of the same quality and value as you. All right? Which means that they are there to complement, supplement, uphold, and complete. So whatever is lacking and missing, that's it. That's what they're there for. So you talked about stripping, feeling stripped of your position, and I'm saying that when you come together, you're working as a team, which means that you know how sometimes you hurt your left foot, and what happens is your right foot compensates. So you put more weight on your left foot because the right foot is injured. But the right foot doesn't now cease to be the right foot. It's just in a temporary situation of incapacitation until its strength is restored. And when the strength is restored, what happens is the foot that was compensating for the other now restores the load back. All right? So that's exactly what marriage is. So when you are okay, you're carrying your load, she's carrying her load. All right? And you're both together carrying the weight, the joint, distributing the weight equally or however it's meant to be distributed. But when one person is at a disadvantage, the other person may be carrying more load, but it doesn't obviate or negate that other person's role. So that you're just doing it temporarily until such a time. I'll tell you what happened. When there was a time when I was out of work, and there was a time when my wife was actually earning about 3 times what I was earning. So she had to carry more. So it's almost like that foot that couldn't do as much as it should. So the load had to be on the other foot. But what I always did was I always was constantly saying, I appreciate you. Thank you. I realize that you are bearing more than you should. And I think a lot of men miss out on that. They feel so incapacitated, and then they go into a shell, and the woman is still carrying the load, and they are feeling bad and everything. No, thank you for carrying it. I appreciate you. It's temporary. I'm working on it. I know God's working on it. We're going to be restored. And as soon as the restoration takes place, oh, thank you, Lord. And then when the shoe goes on the other foot, make sure that you appreciate. So I find that when I'm blessed, or a blessing comes, the first person I celebrate is my wife. I sort of like, this is these are your roses. Celebrate, smell your roses. Celebrate. Because when I had a lack, you were there for me. So you see, so she's used to that now. So she doesn't feel taken for granted. Okay, so I think that that's why God gave you the wife, to be there for a time such as that. So don't feel like you are, but don't take her for granted. And then when things do get better and everything, and I'll tell you what we did when we were growing up. I told my wife, I said, my goal is to be so prosperous that you never have to work. That's my goal. I'm almost 70. We never reached there yet. But no, that having been said, things are much better than they ever were. Which means that whenever there is a breakthrough or a blessing, I celebrate her and I thank her, and I'm constantly appreciating her. And she is also constantly appreciating me. So we never take each other for granted. And I think that's the way to navigate those kind of economic downturns.
I really like that. I like that. I think some of the things that you said that really touched me is the fact that the challenges come to the home, the mind. It's not to one. Challenge doesn't seek me out.
Exactly. By the way, your wife feels just as bad about certain things as you do.
And challenges will come to either of us. And I really like the fact that you said, look, your role doesn't. You're not stripped of your role. You may not have enough money in your bank account, but your role as the
you're still the leader. You're still you're still called to be the head, and you still have that responsibility of servant leadership.
Exactly. So I thought that was really, really powerful. That it shouldn't strip. It doesn't strip you of that. And if anything, if that kind of challenges come, like I think one of the things I took away from what you said again was that it will highlight where gaps are or what
Indeed. Those things that need to be addressed, those things that had been
swept under the rug. One of the things, so I like some of the things you said. I want to also speak to the jackpot community, because I've often heard, and I know a few people who've jackpot and how things have been really tough for them.
By the way, that means people who have emigrated or gone to another country.
Thank you for context,
for those
Pastor,
who do not understand the slang. Yes.
But people come here, and especially where you've lived in communities where you've outsourced most of the things. Where we drive our children to school, it has been outsourced. Where the
gardener is outsourced, the washing of the car, the sweeping of the house, cooking of the food.
And you suddenly come to this UK and you now have to learn how to use the Hoover.
Everything
by yourself. And suddenly, and just like you said, it could be that the woman has a job and the man doesn't. How they are in that situation now, things are getting a bit shaky, a bit wobbly. How will you tell them to reset against the background of all of these things that are happening, and they are trying to get their immigration status sorted out and all of those things?
Well, the first thing is the grass is not always greener on the other side. And even if it is, probably there's smelly manure under it. So you got to, life is, there's always a lot more to life than meets the eye. So when people come here, when people come from places where they were doing very well financially, and then they have to start afresh in a new environment, they feel bad. But you have to realize that there are advantages and disadvantages to everything. So for example, when you leave that community and you come to this community, there are some things you enjoy here. You enjoy security. You enjoy free-flowing light and free-flowing water. You are not your own local government. Whereas in our countries like Nigeria, you are your own local government. You have to provide your own education, your own water, your own light and everything. So what you got to do is understand that there are benefits, there are pros and cons to every situation. So for this, like the other day I went somewhere and I was driving home at 2 a.m. by myself, without fear or anything. I mean, which you cannot do in some other places. So I would like to have a cook, and I would like to have a driver, and I would like to have a steward and everything. But then they would also like to have some things that I have here. Which is why some people come here. You know why? They're economic migrants. Where you come, you have a better standard, you have of certain things and all that. So you've got, it's 6 of this, half a dozen of the other. It's a bit of give and take. So what you do is when you come to this environment, understand that you're going to have to give up certain things, but then you're going to enjoy certain things. Now, having said that, I do appreciate that there is a lot of adjustment that a couple have to make, because it now puts pressure on the roles within the relationships. So where, for example, you're coming from abroad where the man never really had to do any household chores at all, he cannot come to this environment and maintain that. You come into a place where he never really was involved with the running of the children's schedules and stuff like that. It can't work like that. So there's a dramatic change that they have to be aware of, that you have to be more hands-on. You have to be more intentional about helping each other. You have to be more, roles have to actually be a lot more defined, where this is what I do, this is what you do, this is what you help me with, this is what I help you with, this is what I'm supposed to do, but when I cannot do it, you will come in. This is what you're supposed to do, and when you cannot do it. So, and that's very important. And I think that's actually where a lot of the pressure is. The fact that there's a shock to their system, to a guy's system, where he's being told to make his bed and to hoover the house. In which country? Where? How's that? Where?
Microwave his food.
Microwave his food. When before he gets a fresh meal every meal. You know? Now, no, you can. Nobody. Everybody's working, so nobody can cook. We cook once a month and put everything in the freezer. Then everybody brings what they want to eat and all that. So those are things that you have to be. I think part of the injustice we do ourselves is we do not. The Bible talks about, which of you wanting to build a tower doesn't first of all sit down and count the cost? A lot of times we do those things like migration or moving or getting a job abroad, you know, where some people are working and doing a week somewhere, coming back, and we don't count the cost. We really don't count the cost. So it's very, very important for a marriage that you first of all define the roles, and then you count the cost. What does this mean for us practically? What are we supposed to do?
That's so powerful. That's so powerful, because I think one of the things I got from that again is that counting the cost. A lot of times, if our goals could be myopic or short-sighted,
yes,
we're going to make money without thinking about
how does that affecting the children?
How's it affecting
your wife? Or your husband? Being away for a whole week or a month?
Exactly. Or the fact that we will not be at home at similar hours
at the same
because
time.
we have to go and work. So that's really so powerful. One last question. I'm leaving your workshop now with my said car.
Okay. You haven't got your MOT. You haven't passed your MOT.
I would like to think I've passed. my wife will have another view. She will have another view, but this car, I'm going out.
At least you're taking it back home.
Okay, so I want you to, as your client, but more importantly as your son. I've just passed 18 years. One word that you would leave me with, one word you would leave anybody watching with right now, whether you're newly married or you've gotten the years just like me, or you are maturing, let's put it that way. One word you would leave them with.
Serve your partner. Put them first. It's amazing. I find that. You said one word, but I don't know.
I should have said one paragraph. Even that one, Pastor, I think you.
It's amazing that, when you put other people first,
it's powerful.
They put you first. You see, that's how God got us. God got us by putting us first.
Wow.
I became a Christian when I thought about the love of God for me, and I thought, how can He love me the way He loves me, knowing who I am? And then I decided I'm going to serve this person that loves me, and I'm going to give Him back. Wow. So if you put your partner first, if you, you know, that was the love that Jesus modeled. The disciples were, they were awestruck when he said, when he took off his own and put a towel and began to wash their feet. I mean, they were like horrified. You can't wash our feet. How can? That's the lowest of the low. He said, "Do you see what I'm doing?"
Wow, that's powerful.
You know. So when you serve your partner, when you serve your spouse, you know, it's a seed that you invariably benefit from.
No, it's just amazing. It's a universal love language. That's
It
what
is.
you just say. Yeah.
That's it.
That's powerful.
That's it.
Powerful.
And by the way, it works in at work too. It doesn't. It's not
Exactly.
just. You find that when you serve your boss, they will look after your interests. When you serve your colleagues, they look after your. So that universal language of love and service in love, your sacrificial love,
Wow.
no substitute.
Pastor, thank you very much, sir.
You are very welcome. It's been wonderful talking with you.
As always, thank you so much, sir. So, if like me, you have enjoyed the conversation, whether you're newly married, whether you're maturing in marriage, you need to sign up for the Different by Design course. It's for everyone. And it doesn't matter if your wife doesn't want to come. You come and do it. Yeah. So we have single tickets, we have couple tickets. So for all the details, check the information below. Thank you very much and see you soon.